Hi everyone, this is Tarun from Deep Thought. We are the HR business partners of CocoWorks, a very interesting startup in the food and beverage space. Uh, we find it a very interesting opportunity to build a team for this amazing venture. Now, what is CocoWorks and why does CocoWorks exist? That's exactly what I'm going to explain in this video. I'll start by asking a question. Do you think coconut water is safe? I mean, when do you usually drink coconut water? You're probably drinking Coke, you're probably drinking Pepsi, coffee, and all of that. But you go to coconut water when you want to drink something which is safe, something which is healthy, something which is good for rehydration. Now, summer is coming up and probably going to be drinking quite a lot of coconut water. But what if I tell you that even coconut water is not safe? And that's exactly what Dr. Narasimha, the founder of CocoWorks, who's a pediatrician, tells us. A pediatrician, I mean, the doctor who treats young children, he quit his job and started this company called CocoWorks because he was very disturbed to see the kind of food choices that we have in India, not many safe choices. Now, if you think about it, most of the food around us which sells like hell has a lot of salt, sugar, or oil. Salt, sugar, and oil are extremely cheap, but they're extremely addictive as well. And people come back and keep buying, right? Be it your fries of that brand or be it your beverages. We keep going back to them again and again due to salt, sugar, and oil, and it's not really good for us. So, with very minimal processing, they have bottled coconut water, some melanges, smoothies, and so on, which can offer good nutrition and at the same time they're tasty. Because today's generation is not happy with just water. I mean, they want something else beyond. Today's generation wants a beverage. So CocoWorks provides these healthier alternatives of beverages. So with this very interesting vision, Dr. Narasimha started CocoWorks. But one challenge he's had is not getting the right team who share his dream. Unfortunately, the kind of mess our education system is, the moment somebody finishes college, people are like, who's that bakra who's going to give me a job? I'm going to clear whatever rounds. I mean, there was this Telugu movie in which, a person tells a dialogue, even if chief minister's son is a pig, I don't care. I want to be with him. I mean, that's the kind of attitude which a lot of youngsters have today, which is why our clients, some of the startups, you know, take the services of Deep Thought to screen youngsters who come because of alignment with a cause, right? I mean, if you're not interested in a job, go to a corporate. That might make perfect sense because the corporate is, I mean, anyways, doing fine. But a startup is fighting the world to bring a change. More than 90% of startups across the world fail. If passionate people go and work for these startups, the chances of startup success go up. And passionate people also get to learn and grow in a very fast manner if they were to actually work for a startup. Now, I'll tell you a couple of stories through which you'd understand what CocoWorks is, looking for. I mean, there was one food technology student who used to work for this company, and he was asked to attend one wedding where they took about 100 liters of coconut water to this wedding. He was asked to attend that wedding and understand how people felt about the drink so that the product can be improved around the feedback, because the wedding is a great opportunity to understand how people think. He goes to the wedding and then calls up the founder and says, I'm quitting the job. You made me do catering while I'm a engineering student. He took it on his ego, while he was clearly told, and the founder asked him, were you asked to serve that coconut water to anyone? You were just asked to go there and see how people felt. And he felt offended. Now, this is what happens when there's an individual who does not have that responsibility for the role. If I were responsible for the role, I would have loved this opportunity to go there and stand in one corner and see how people feel when they drink that coconut water, to understand how this product can be taken to newer people, how we can explain this product to people, or how we can make some improvements to the product. Unfortunately, our school education kills whatever interest and whatever passion we have within us. Our college education teaches us that only one bloody thing in our life is to get a job and get a salary, but does not teach us something called purpose. Most of your life is going to go into a job. Most of the time in your life is going to go for a job. Now, if you do a job which you're truly passionate about, that's the greatest gift you can give to yourself. Now, if someone is doing a job which they truly love, you'll see that spark in their eyes. You'll see that real happiness, that Buddha level of happiness in them. And such a person is a gift to the society. You wouldn't have a neighbor who will throw tantrums at you if that neighbor is not frustrated at the office. You wouldn't have a parent who's taking the frustration on the child by scolding the child if people are happy in their office. You wouldn't have a domestic violence and a spouse who's going and beating up another spouse and all this kind of nuisance in our society if people do a job that they're truly connected with. So the job that Deep Thought has here is to identify those youngsters who really care about food, who care about nutrition, not those who are desperate for a job, not those who are desperate for a job, but those who are driven by a purpose. Doesn't it feel a little insulting when I say desperate for a job? I'm sure you know Indian youngsters are worth much more than that. Indian youngsters are worth much more than that. And we as a company believe that if Indian youngsters pursue their passion and purpose, India will go to a new level. Every Indian youngster is super talented. It is only our school and college systems which spoil them by teaching them that lie, you're not good enough, you're an idiot, you're, an avara guy and all of that. You have to go get a job. If you don't get a job, you're a useless fellow and all of that. But we at Deep Thought believe Indian youngsters are super talented and can definitely do wonders if they find a job which is aligned to their passion and purpose. Now, if the story of CocoWorks excites you, here is a pediatrician who has a very in-depth knowledge of coconuts, of what value coconut has to offer and what kind of nutrition it has and how your life can be better if you're able to have this kind of a product. Now, if you want to work with this pediatrician, if you want to bring awareness around food choices among people, today's youngsters, the amount of soft drinks they drink, the amount of junk food they eat, do you want to change that? Do you want to change the Indian the Europeans have become more conscious about what they consume, but the Indians are kind of trying to copy the Americans, and Americans very obese and not really great health choices. If you want to bring that change in India, I think CocoWorks is the right platform for you. And we've got an interesting selection process where you initially fill 10 reflection questions through which you understand if this is your passion or not. Then after that, there's a role specific assignment. Depending on which role you apply to, you'll understand if are these the kind of challenges I want to solve on a daily basis. Then we have something called video reflection, where we understand your ability to learn. Do you have that commitment to learn? We understand that through the video reflection process. And the last step, we have something called observation, where you spend 3 days with us and we understand whether you really have that learning drive or not. Because here for us, getting a candidate with the right mindset, we believe that for every company to succeed, 3 qualities are important: that the employee is enabled, empowered, and responsible. An employee who's enabled, empowered, and responsible will be a value contributor. And if all your employees are value contributors, your company will definitely grow. The challenge, the reason why companies are not growing is employees are not able to create value. When will employees create value? When they're enabled, when they're given the learning, right? And CocoWorks has completely sponsored the Deep Thought Leadership Development Program for every hire. The reason why we are hiring you is because if you are hired by CocoWorks, then we actually give you the leadership development program from Deep Thought. You go through our YouTube channel, you'll see the kind of trainings we give people, so that people on the job. So every week, if you're working for 40 hours a week, in that about 8 hours goes into your learning and development, where you're taught something new, right? So the enablement is taken care of. Empowerment, there are a lot of emotional wellness drills as well in this 8 hours, which will empower you to implement your ideas, feel confident about your ideas. Don't worry about whether they'll fail, they'll not succeed and all of that, right? So enablement, empowerment. And third one is, we believe that if you're enabled and if you're empowered and if you are fundamentally a responsible individual, you like taking responsibility for what you do, you're more likely to make the organization win. So if these ideas excite you, go ahead, complete the selection process, and we'd really love to work for you. But please take the selection process forward only if you want to explore more about yourself, only if you want to learn more about yourself, because our selection rate is very low. We are getting about 2,000 to 3,000 applications across all our job posts. And from that, only 4 youngsters would be selected. The selection rate is extremely low, and we would encourage you to take up the selection process only if you want to explore something new about yourself and you want to learn, because only the best get hired. And even if you don't get hired, if your intention is to explore, you'll still learn something new at the end, right? Because what we believe as a company is when Indian youngsters spend their valuable time in the selection process, they have to get some real learning out of it. And we've designed, be it our step one, which is a reflection form that will help you know something new about yourself. Step two, the role specific assignment will help you understand how to solve problems, and you may get some feedback around that, and that can help you in improving yourself by doing some courses or reading some books and all of that. So step two will help you understand your problem solving capabilities. Step three will help you understand if by watching a long video are you able to learn some concepts or not. Your listening capabilities and conceptual comprehension is what you'll understand through step three. And step four is a new world altogether, where you get to meet a lot of innovators and you get to do a very new observation kind of a process, which gives exposure of the highest level to candidates. So we have these four very interesting steps as a part of the selection process. So take up the selection process only if you want to explore something new about yourself. And again, I repeat, it's a great opportunity to change the way India looks at food and beverages, sustainable nutrition. I mean, today there are a lot of brands in the space who look at it as a business, who look at looting customers and giving bad choices. That's okay, but let's make money out of it. But we believe it is possible to have a values driven company. We believe it is certainly possible to have a values driven company which can do good to people and also make money by doing good to people. So if you believe in such a Gandhian economics, right, that you give value and you grow by giving value to employees, to customers, I think this is the opportunity for you. Go ahead. The selection process is long, but worth it. And wishing you all the best, the selection process.